Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. Man, I know Kevin was able to hear me, but for some reason I had this intro screen muted. Things are dumb, but we are good to go now. What is going on, Clint Nation? My name is Clint Pasillas. Find me as Real FRG on the social media platforms. That guy is producer Kevin. Find him at Skinner7Kevin on the Twitter X machine. And on today's show, we're talking about the latest with Mookie Betts and his illness, because there was a positive update today out of Dodgers camp, or really out of Angel Stadium, from Dave Roberts. We'll also be looking at the Dodgers starting pitching sort of plan, sort of situation, whatever, because things are going to be a little wonky, to borrow from Walker Buehler over this first month of the season, as the schedule is weird. So all that and more, plus voicemails and things. If you guys do want to call in to the voicemail hotline now, feel free. We do have some space. We have a couple of voicemails so far, but there's a number, 562-373-4095, blah, blah, blah. What else should I tell people? Consider giving this thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. We recently passed 15,000 subscribers, so we appreciate you guys for getting us to that mark. Y'all are awesome. If you can't watch live, listen to the show, Apple, Spotify, rate, review the show. Those are things that really do help out the show, help out the channel, help out the brand. All that said, Kevin, how you doing, my man?
Good. Better than Mookie. I can keep food down, so that's...
You can, as the future Mrs. Kevin is in the background whipping up something fancy, I'm assuming. So you will be able to keep your food down. That's pretty important there.
I wanted to be known I started it. I would be back there, but I'm doing this instead. So
I ruined it, and I get it. Dry Pro Toss in the chat. I love this, saying Vicks Vapor Rub and the Menudo did the trick for Mookie. We appreciate that. I said earlier on Dodgers territory that Mookie just needed a 7-Up and some Vicks as well, and he would be fine. But yeah, we are going to talk about Mookie in just a second. But I guess before we get into all of the latest with Mookie and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to tell you guys about Bet Online, because Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness, because last time I checked, it is March. Whether you are a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion. They have the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball, and they do have a $200,000 bracket contest going on right now, apparently, from what I'm being told. There's also baseball stuff. You actually will be able to bet on real baseball very, very soon. But they continue to be your number one sports betting source here this year. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, Bet Online has you covered with odds, stats, and more from every game, every play, every win. And they do it live, mind you. There you can bet live in games that are in progress. It's pretty cool. Go check it out. Bet Online. Game starts here. The show resumes now. And one last thing, I will plug myself a little bit. We did have on Dodgers territory today the two-time World Series champion utility man for your Los Angeles Dodgers, Kiké Hernandez, and pretty good stuff. I did get a chance to ask him about glasses, Kiké, which I know some of our friends here on the internet will very much appreciate. Did you get a chance to see any of that, by the way, or so far?
I did get the clip about his glasses. Yeah, I did get that's.
It's crazy. I didn't know that. I don't know if he just felt like maybe he was close to being DFA'd, or if there was actual conversation, but there was a lot going on for the man in the first half of that season last year.
And it kind of put a couple things, or put one thing in perspective. We talk a lot. I mean, I guess we don't necessarily talk a lot, but there's always conversations, especially with a team as talented as the Dodgers, about, oh, this guy doesn't belong on the roster, or this guy needs to be DFA'd. And then you hear it from a player that, I was close to being DFA'd. It's like,
it's a little weird.
Maybe we just shouldn't be saying this about guys that would potentially lose their job, and how grateful he was, and how he was trying really hard to stay on the roster, and resorted to getting his eyes checked, and it worked out for him, obviously. But it's a little weird to hear it, to talk about it in this arena, and then to hear it from the player themselves. It just I was like, it just made me a little uncomfy. felt a little
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, that's the thing, and this is where
Not that I wanted him DFA'd necessarily, but
I don't know. I do think that there were conversations at different point in times that we had or I had
absolutely.
last year, about that, and it does come back to what did Dave Roberts say? It's a meritocracy. People need to earn their spots on the roster, and at that point, for a good majority of the start of the season, first half of the season, he wasn't necessarily earning his spot. That said, they didn't necessarily also have anybody clamoring, chomping at the bit to take that spot. So it did work out, as Kiké said. I think it worked out for the best for everybody when you you see how things played out for this team and for him in the postseason. But a lot of good stuff from Kiké. It's my first time talking to him since being unblocked. So thank you, Kiké. I love you. But it was a lot of fun. If you guys did not check it out, do check it out.
Suit, did you?
Alana did. Because we did bring up the banana suit to Andrew Friedman and kind of all this Kiké thing when we were still pushing for the Kiké, re-sign Kiké tour. And one of the things Andrew had talked about with us was, hey, I didn't think that dude would become the leader he became. So Kiké was awesome. He was super, super awesome with us. So do check that out on the Dodgers Territory YouTube channel. Myself, Alana, Rizzo. But guys, we're finally getting some good news with Mookie Betts, and that is what we need to be talking about right now, because we know he's dealing with like this stomach virus thing, whatever the hell exactly it is. But today we learn that he's actually able to keep his food down, something he was unable to do yesterday, of course, in the lineup, a late scratch on Sunday, because he ate breakfast solid breakfast, and then went out and did his workout, and then went in and puked everywhere. Well, not everywhere. I'm embellishing the story here. But yeah, Dave Roberts really encouraged with Mookie, able to keep his food down, went through his full workouts, and the hope is he could be in the lineup tomorrow for the fake season, finale in Anaheim, and then potentially back in the lineup on opening day. So there's a few different ways we can digest this here, and we know Mookie can't digest right now. At least he can't do it very well. And we'll thank you, boo, thank you.
Who this man?
He talked a lot. Mookie talked a lot yesterday about the illness and about his situation. Do we want to kind of dive into this a little bit first, or do we want to hear him and then go back and listen to it?
Yeah, let's hear it from the man himself.
All right, let's listen to what Mookie had to say yesterday about his illness, his situation, and then we'll come back and we'll kind of, again, we'll digest everything. It's the last time I'm going to say it anyways. Here's Mookie.
I'm feeling all right now. I guess I was fine this morning. Got to the park, went about the day, and then I just had to go throw up again. I mean, I'm not exactly sure, what it is.
With talking to the doctors, I mean, is it something that it seems like, it just might take a little bit more time? Like today was kind of just a good example for you of being able to try to get through the work, things like that? Or what are you, I guess, hearing?
I don't think anybody really knows. I mean, it's just, you go and you weigh yourself and you weigh 150 pounds. I mean, and before I left spring, I was 175. And so, it's a balance, because I guess my stomach is really aggravated, and so it's hard to just not eat, especially you can't come to work and just not eat, and have, how I am. I'm practicing all day, and my body's just kind of eating itself, and so it's hard to not fuel it. And so literally every time I fuel my body, I throw it up, and I don't know, and I don't know what to do about it.
When was the last time you were able to have a meal and keep it down, and are you taking IVs to kind of supplement that?
I've only got an IV in Tokyo. I got 2 liters of IV in Tokyo. But to answer your question, I don't know. Every time I've eaten, I've thrown up. So it's hopefully I can hold something down. Tonight, tomorrow. I don't know. I'm scared to eat, so I don't really know what to do.
Have the doctors diagnosed it?
No, I mean, there's my vitals, everything has come back clean. Took, blood tests, everything has come back really, really clean, healthy. So I guess it's just something with my stomach being really aggravated. So I'm just started in some new medicine now to try and calm my stomach down. But this is so touchy, man. you think you feel good, and then you don't really know. I don't know what's going on in my stomach. You can't see. I feel good, but every time I eat something, it just comes right out. And so I have to just figure out a way to just drink some smoothies or something and just go play at 150 pounds.
Of course, we learn it's a little bit more than 150 pounds, closer to 157 pounds, but still very, very light for Mookie Betts. But, he says he's felt great. The body feels great. Hasn't been able to keep food down. Apparently, things changed today. What's your takeaway on all this Mookie stuff?
Yeah, it's, I'm glad it's not mono. It sounded like it is. It does sound like something. Don Kim said it could be colon cancer. I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. You just like to believe that they've exhausted at least cursory scans, especially if it's been 2 weeks like this. The stomach, like you mentioned, it is touchy. Once you've had prolonged periods of evacuations, from either end, you kind of mess with your gut biome, and then it's really tough to kind of rebuild it. It takes a long time. You're on like probiotics because you have to be on antibiotics, then you need to be on probiotics because you're suppressing your gut biome. It is tough to rebuild, and like you said, it is touchy. So it just sounds like he's going through that process right now, and he is going to be playing lighter. I don't think they need to rush him back. I don't think they will rush him back.
Yeah.
This team, this organization is hyper careful with their players. So if there's even an inkling that he's not feeling it, he's not, as close to 100% as he can be, they won't play him. I think the only caveat there is, he's probably not going to be 100% until he gains all that weight back.
Yeah.
But that's just a process of like living and existing. So they might let him play until he's at that spot anyway. So,
yeah. One of the things he had mentioned too, like he said, I want to play, man. I think I cut it from the clip there, but I want to play, man. I'm tired of sitting down, but it's really, and I'm seeing some of the people in the chat talking about the same thing we're sort of talking around here. It's like, is it a good idea for him to still be in the lineup at that weight and coming off of this sickness, or would it best suit him and the team to kind of just give him a blow to start the season? Open season on the IL, you could have it retroactive to Tokyo, or at least a few days back for the team, so it's not going to cost them the full 15 days that it's 10 days for position players. I'm okay with letting him, get down a couple of meals, maybe some delicious Baconators from Wendy's or something like that. Shout out to our Discord chat. Big Baconator fans, big Wendy's fans in our Discord chat. But I'm good with giving Mookie a little bit of time. That said, he wants to be in the lineup, and he gets paid a lot of money to play baseball for this team. The team is a lot better when Mookie Betts is hitting number 2 in that lineup, and ideally a lot better when he's playing shortstop and doing it well. But what happens if he's not? He injures himself because he's coming off of having lost so much weight so fast, and his body's still just trying to as he said, like, he's playing uphill, he's playing underweight. He kind of already feels like he's playing underweight as it is. We had the storyline a couple years ago about him going to Driveline in the off season to add more weight and eating a bunch of granola bars and all this kind of crap. Again, I'm okay with them giving him some time. If he has to open the season on the IL, it's not that big of a deal. But also, if he's in the lineup and plays 6 innings or something like that, because at this point it's been almost 2 weeks since he's played a game, or I think over 2 weeks now. So maybe giving him some time isn't the worst idea.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think they're going to risk injury with him whatsoever. I know you're worried about, or they had already mentioned they don't want to rush him back because they're worried about soft tissue injuries with him playing, underweight. Because anytime you exert yourself when, you have a drastic change in weight, whether it's high, that's why you build up, or if you're trying to lose weight, you do it progressively. You don't just stop eating and then come back and try and do something at 10 pounds lighter. Try not to. they're not going to risk that kind of injury. They'll keep him safe. And yeah, it could, they had a plan. I think yesterday, what was it? It was 6 innings of defense and 2 at bats. I could easily see him, if a game gets away from them early in the season, pull him. Let Miggy Rowe get some, looks at shortstop.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Miggy Rowe playing shortstop and Tommy Edman. Tommy Tank's hitting second. I know our friend Scotty Gearman has no problem with
Tommy. Clean up hitter.
At least for some postseason games. But yeah, more people. What do people think about this situation? Sound off in the chat. Let's see. BC says, yeah, they're not going to forget to search for something more serious. Although I would imagine it would take them, they wouldn't think to immediately go to like some sort of cancer screening. But also in the chat, Nicole Taylor brings up a great point. If it was cancer, his panels would be abnormal. And he said all of the labs, all the blood work came back clean. So it's obviously not the worst case scenario for Mookie. At least,
yeah, they also probably did a CT scan to look for obstructions. If it's coming up, that they're going to look to make sure that there's not like an air pocket or something that's keeping it from going down. So that's just something they'll do.
Robert Uribe saying bad Arizona hot dogs, and that one I can agree with. It's bad Arizona hot dogs. I was just out there, and I'm still feeling honestly the effects of being out in Arizona and eating some of the garbage out there. Shout out Arizona, I love you. You're always fun for us. But again, the important thing is he's on the right track. Apparently, we do know. Again, they have the opportunity. This team has the optionality to give him some time. Like I had mentioned earlier on Dodgers territory, we already said it here as well. Miguel Rojas, even Tommy Edman can slide over to shortstop. Kiké Hernandez has played the position a bunch. Alex Freeland is somebody if they want to dip down to the minor league level and pull him up highly, or not as likely, or maybe this because also early in our chat thread here. People love opening these shows now, just dumping all over Chris Taylor. Maybe Chris Taylor finds a way to get some shortstop in there just a little bit and kind of it's almost like a come to Jesus moment for him or opportunity for Chris Taylor. It's like, are you going to figure it out? Are you going to have better than a 600 OPS like you have in spring training with some playing time, or are you cut before the All-Star break?
Everybody be prepared for Chris Taylor to be on the opening, like literally in the opening day lineup. Well, they're playing Tarek Skubal, left-handed pitcher.
Conforto on the bench or something,
Yeah, Conforto on the bench. You put Chris Taylor in left, Kiké at second, or Tommy Edman at second. You could put Kiké or Miggy Rowe at shortstop with Andy Pages in center. Or, so that's like a complete possibility is CT works his way onto the opening day lineup. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I personally would still rather have Andy Pages, Kiké, Miggy Rowe, Tommy Edman in over Chris Taylor.
Yeah.
But it could happen. There's a lefty on the bump, so we'll see.
By the way, this one right here, where'd it go? It ran away from me. Oh, dang it. It was a really, really good. There it is. Grizzly Oso. CT's living that R. Kelly fighting for my life meme. Maybe it's not good. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
He is. He really is. And we haven't really heard from him. He's not many people are. He hasn't been in front of a microphone for a bit. It's probably a good thing. Yeah. I don't really want to know what's going through his head right now.
Wait, we're talking about CT or R. Kelly?
But we know why R. Kelly hasn't been in front of a microphone recently.
Hey, how about this? We got a $4.99 super chat from our friend Richie Flores. Thank you very much, Richie. Says Kiki should have mixed in a comb for his DT interview today, but at least he didn't do it from his kitchen. Ouch.
He did it from his dining room.
Very nice dining room, by the way. Mookie just needs a few visits to Wendy's. Look, I will personally. I think they have a deal right now. I know they had it in Arizona. Thank you for the super chat, Richie. They had the deal in Arizona. $3 son of Baconators. Like, that's a steal in this day and age.
my fiance and I had this conversation, and my like fast food hot take right now is Wendy's is kind of on that Taco Bell trajectory where like 20 years ago it was kind of this gross, greasy, like just like your generic fast food place. But like recently they've really stepped their game up. You know, spicy nugs from Wendy's kind of slap. They've had some fun with their Frosties, so I've been enjoying those as well. But no, I haven't. I'm not gonna make it.
Let Kevin cook right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I like to hear. Anyway, all of that aside, I don't know what this segment was or what we're talking about anymore, but we're here to help Mookie if you need it. I'll even go to In-N-Out. I'll wait through the line and do the whole thing for, so I could build my own burger because they have a secret menu. Anyway, I don't want to get into them. I don't want to piss people off again. So let's move on. Let's talk about some of the other headlines going on for the Dodgers. I would say out of Dodgers camp, but there's not camp anymore. They're playing in Major League stadiums, by the way. Dodger Stadium, looking beautiful, as you'd expect. Happy to see the ballpark open. We do get some views from the inside at the new-look clubhouse and the new-look lockers, and they got LEDs in there. It's really, really pretty stuff. Can't wait to get a more complete back-end tour of what's going on there. But more importantly, let's talk about a guy by the name of Freddy Freeman, who did get back in the lineup yesterday at Dodger Stadium, and no further issues with the ribs. There were some people that were talking about maybe it was just some scar tissue breaking up, and that's sort of what the Dodgers came out and said. I think our buddy Jeff Snyder had mentioned the scar tissue somewhere in our Discord. If not, somebody did in our Discord. Guys, sign up on Patreon or YouTube members if you want to join us on Discord. But I'm expecting Freddie to be in moving forward. What's your take on the Freddie situation?
Yep. I agreed. I think he'll be moving forward. He'll be in the lineup moving forward. You mentioned the scar tissue buildup. It's something he's just going to have to deal with, get used to. It'll get better as time goes on. Again, this team isn't going to stick him in the lineup if he's, feeling something weird. I expect him to get more days off than normal, whether he wants it or not. Just maybe not for the scar tissue, but for the ankle. But it also incidentally will help his scar tissue build up as well. I don't see any reason why he can't be in the lineup. Obviously his swing looks good. It looks dialed every single time that guy steps up to the plate. He's a threat, and he looks right. The last time we saw him, so I'm excited to watch. Like of this entire team, Freddie is my favorite at bat to watch. Yeah. So I'm just really excited to see him back up at the plate because one, the swing is sweet, but just his approach it's awesome. So really, really, really stoked to see him back in the lineup.
And having Freddie in the lineup, this is something I talked about earlier as well. It just that gives you a better opportunity, even though they won 2 games without Mookie or Freddie in the lineup. It gives you the opportunity to give Mookie that rest that we're all kind of clamoring for, that we would be open to seeing Mookie get a couple more days if needed to help him start putting some weight back on if he's finally able to start holding some food down and all that. You have Freddie in the lineup. You feel real good. Tommy slots into that second hole. Shohei at the top. Teo behind him. Max Muncy looking good, at the dish. So giving Mookie that few extra days. And then, I'm open to Freddie having some more time off this season. I've been open to him having more time off over the last couple of seasons. I guess it ultimately didn't matter because I said before, let him rest up more so he's not rough in the playoffs, but then he went into God mode, so it kind of doesn't matter. Freddie can do whatever he wants. Anyways, another one of the things that we got some updates about, people have been asking, and I've seen people in the chat, 1 or 2 people asking about starting pitching and where some guys are at. How come Glasnow is not starting game 2 at Dodger Stadium? We're going to talk starting pitching, or even game 3. We're going to talk starting pitching in just a little bit. But first, we've also seen people asking about Shohei Otani. What's going on with Shohei? When's he getting back off the mound? And Shohei will be throwing again this weekend at Dodger Stadium, continuing that ramp up from, in recovery from Tommy John and the shoulder and all that, which is exactly what the Dodgers said they were going to do, kind of slow it down a little bit. Let him focus on getting his hitting right. He got his hitting right for sure in Tokyo, and now he's going to come back and kind of become that, start trending towards becoming a two-way player again. So I was thinking about this, earlier, and then the Shohei story came out, so it just made it that much easier to bring up. But we know he's not going to be available. He's probably not going to be available, in early May, like there was some hope, a couple weeks ago or whatever. Probably more of a mid-May, maybe even a late May. But I wonder, how much should Shohei Otani pitch at this point this season? Because he is such a goddamn important piece at the top of that lineup. Like, does he break 100 innings? What do you think, if you're throwing on your Nostradamus hat? How does you think? How would you play Shohei, and how do you think it plays out?
I'd give him anywhere from 13 to 15 starts. No more than 6 innings a start, so that puts you at like a cap of 80 innings. That's about where I'd put him. That basically makes him a post All-Star break edition, which is fine by me. Just you can use the All-Star break to throw to some live hitters, bullpen games or what, or backfield games or what have you. But yeah, I build him up to 6 innings over the course of 13 starts, and then let him eat in October. That's the game plan, if you're asking me. And 80 innings should be more than enough to win him his third consecutive MVP. The number of people that have been saying that Juan Soto is going to win the NL MVP, by the way, is driving me insane. Do people not remember that Shohei Otani pitches? I have to get this out. Oh my goodness, way too many people are saying Juan Soto is going to win NL MVP. Yes, Juan Soto is a very, 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 very good hitter. Probably the best hitter in baseball. The dude doesn't pitch.
Maybe they're taking valuable literally, and his contract max value is worth more than Shohei's, because 765 is more than 700. So he's the most valuable player.
Or you could judge it by WAR per dollar spent, and if you think Shohei's only making $2 million a year, there's no one more valuable.
Hey guys, hit that thumbs up button if you think Shohei Otani is going to win the National League MVP this year. Also hit that thumbs up button if you think Juan Soto is not going to win the National League MVP this year. And either way, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers now. Appreciate you guys for getting us to 15K. Let's move on. So we've talked around the starting pitching. One guy who will eventually slot into that starting rotation is Shohei Otani. But overall, let's talk about the pitching as the season kind of gets going. We already have this sort of weird, jumbled, I'm calling it early season schedule hijinks here, because you played 2 games and then you had a week off, and then you played 3 more games, and then it's, again, very, very dumb. I hate this thing. I saw somebody else in the chat as well agreeing with me that these fake games are stupid and it sucks, and I just want to watch real baseball. But so far from the 2 games, very small sample size, Dodgers pitching so far so good. 2 games, 4 earned runs, over 18 innings pitched. That's a 2 ERA. That is good, and they used Dave used in game 2 in particular some of the lower leverage guys, the unproven guys in Japan. Statistically, Dodgers okay in spring training games as well, about middle of the pack. I think it was a 4 and change ERA. I forgot the number. Not that spring training numbers matter, of course, but Dodgers, as expected, have a wealth of pitches. They have a lot of talent on the pitching side of the ledger. And starting wise, the way things are going to lay out over the next week to 10 days, it's going to be a little bit wonky. And Kevin and I were talking about, hey, what are we talking about today on tonight's show when we still aren't really playing meaningful games. We have Mookie sick and all that kind of stuff, and we both kind of had in our mind the pitching situation is going to be a little odd. And somebody mentioning in the chat, like, we're not seeing Glasnow in the Detroit series. Blake Snell gets the opening day nod, opening day 2.0, which I'm fine with. I love Blake Snell getting that start. But kind of somewhat surprisingly, Yoshi getting the game 2 or game 4 start or whatever. He starts Friday against the Tigers, and then Roki, another one, maybe more surprising, Roki getting Saturday. And that was your big question, like, why Roki over Glasnow?
Yeah, and I disclaimer, at that point, I hadn't looked at the schedule. I think I have an answer at this point as to why Roki might be getting the start. So we just laid out the first 3 guys.
Yeah.
Rookie will get that game 3. I'm calling it game 3. Sorry, I know it's game 5. It's game 3. It's game 3 against the Tigers, or the third game against the Tigers. Okay, so Glasnow gets Monday. Flip it to the next.
I think one of the things too that made it weird was the Sunday being an off day as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does make it weird. So you put Glasnow on Monday, flip it to the next month. Then you'll get Dustin May right there, and then you'll get Blake Snell again. Basically, it'll be his turn to the order. What that allows them to do is keep Yoshinobu and Roki Sasaki on a once-a-week schedule. If Roki had started Monday, he would then have to pitch Sunday. So doing it this way keeps them once a week, and then they can basically do this for the first month.
Yeah.
So then you basically play the whole game, the whole thing through again, and by the time they'll just keep Yoshinobu and Roki, they'll be pitching Saturday and Sunday through that first month. That's kind of why I think they did it the way they did. I'm sure they let Tyler Glasnow know this reason, and he's totally fine with that. I also don't think he cares. He's a big boy. He knows how this works. But yeah, I think that ends up being why Sasaki gets that game 3. It's basically, they did this last year early in the season. It's their way of doing a 6-man rotation with only 5 guys. They use their off days as a turn in the or as a pitcher effectively, and it allows them to keep their guys healthy. And I think they're kind of doing it as a way to let Blake Snell kind of just do whatever he wants. He says he wants to be the workhorse, and I think they're going to let him. I think they're going to let him pitch every 5th day as much as they can.
I fully agree with that.
And they're just going to let him go, and which is cool. We're going to get to see what he's got. You know, the running joke is whenever he pitches 180 innings, he wins the Cy Young. So it's very realistic he reaches 180 innings. So I'm excited. This is going to be cool. We get basically all of Blake Snell, which, I think people would say early on he has some struggles. Hopefully this time around with a normal-ish off season, we don't have those early season woes.
And me looking at it, and the reason I left the schedule up here as well, I think they could be even more creative too, because like Roki only got through 3 innings. I would not be shocked to see Roki on Saturday not get much deeper in a game. Maybe if he can mitigate the walks, but there's a chance where maybe Dustin May doesn't really slot into the rotation until the 3rd series or something like that. Highly unlikely, but this is just me sort of looking out at the calendar a little bit. Dustin could be somebody who could act as a piggyback for Roki on that Saturday start, with Glasnow starting Monday and Blake Snell staying on some sort of closer to a 5-day. I guess that would be 4 days if he's starting on Saturday from Tuesday from Thursday. Is that right? I don't know. Math is hard. Jeff Snyder is usually the guy who does all my math for me. I think the point was it's a sort of like non-traditional 5 or 6 man rotation, like you had mentioned, more so 5-man, which is what they told us they're going to do for the first month of the season, because they have a bunch of off days, every off day, every Thursday off, one Monday in there, and then hey, maybe Shohei does come back earlier than I was saying earlier. He does pop back in somewhere early in May, and they kind of slowly build him up, but they're still going to need more arms. Like Tony Gonsolin will be back. He's going to be somebody who probably acts as a workhorse, like a bulk workhorse. Landon Knack will be somebody who very much uses his ups and downs. Hopefully Ben Kasparius stays stretched out, and it's going to be weird. I think it's we were talking about it on Discord. The days of 200 inning pitchers so far behind us, which is kind of sad. Oh, yeah. And I think that the team leader might be somebody who pitches like 145 innings or something like that, because you got to figure there's going to be injuries in there for Snell. But, hey, I like this a lot more than bullpen games and Brent Honeywell games and all this kind of stuff.
TBD. Dodgers'
TBDs.
favorite pitcher TBDs.
Not as many TBDs.
I will say, so selfishly, I hope they keep to what I just said, because I will actually be at the April 12th game against the Cubs.
Oh, yeah, they're playing the Cubs.
They're playing the Cubs. I will be at Dodger Stadium, so I'll be at that game.
Oh, you're going to be in L.A. all of a sudden?
Yeah, for my bachelor party. Yeah.
All of a sudden, huh?
All of a sudden, yeah.
I guess Richie Flores missed the invite.
Yeah, we just decided it not too long ago. So I'll actually be at the Saturday the 12th game. I'll be inside right field pavilion, and
If you guys
yeah,
see
hopefully
him, find him,
Sasaki's
go buy him a
pitching.
beer.
Yeah, hopefully Sasaki's pitching because then I get to watch him pitch. Oh,
You
which
know,
would be really
people
excited.
should buy you enough stuff to do the 9-inning, 9 hot dog, 9 beer
Absolutely
challenge.
not. Under no circumstances.
Why not?
Because I can't eat 9 hot dogs. I
You
can't do it.
have to believe
Especially-
in yourself.
You know what? Also, like, there should be an award for doing it now with the pitch clock. Like maybe the pre-pitch clock era I could have. Not right now. No way. Games are too short. I can't eat 9 hot dogs, man. Especially 9 Dodger dogs. Ugh.
Soft. Diane says, how sneaky of you. I agree. Look at that. We're just learning about these things. Some friend we thought we had here on the internet, but that should be good. Hopefully it does line up that way. Guys, if you want to be more of a part of our conversations, I've mentioned it a few times, check out our Discord by signing up on our Patreon, patreon.com/realfrg, or click the join button here on YouTube. It's $5 a month to support the show, support independent Dodgers coverage here online. With that, you also get access to our Discord server where we're talking Dodger baseball all year long. We're also bringing back our game meetups. Sure, Kevin won't be there because he doesn't invite us to the games he's going to. But if you're in our Discord, you get to know what games we're going to. We make a whole thing about it. It's fun. It's fun getting to meet everybody in their flesh human form. So check that out if you want. All the links are in the description below to join us. Sign up for a month. If you don't like it, keep paying. I guess.
Pissed off, Richie. Whoopsies.
Thanks for the invite there. I love IE Doyer says you can't eat 9 hot dogs. What a lame.
I can't. No. Maybe
Come on, just like Kobayashi.
9.
yourself.
Like I could. Like this is bad. I could crush 9 beers, but eat 9 hot dogs. I can't do that.
You know what? Honestly, thinking about that, and I've said before that I would love to do the challenge. I'm more worried about the beers, the tall cans. Because
is it 9? Is it like 9 beers or is it like 9 tall boys? That's 18 beers.
That's exactly.
I can't do 18.
If you're doing
I can do 9 12-ounce beers. I cannot do 18 20-ounce whatever. No, that's
soft.
No, I'm sorry.
I just see the Kobe meme, soft. But also I agree. Jeff, Locked On Dodgers in the chat says, my wife offers me prizes to not eat 9 hot dogs. Oh, that's good. By the way, another guy, Jeff, is in town, I believe, coming here for opening day. So I'm going to try to find a way to finally connect with him because we keep missing each other in locations.
Also held his own in the NL West preview Locked On Dodgers edition. That was kind of a fun. He had to be among Rockies and Giants fans, which
wait, they're Rockies fans?
Yeah, I know. Believe it or not, they have a Locked On Rockies. It must be a sad place.
That's an unfortunate thing. It's an unfortunate thing to hear. Besides all of that, what does this one say? There it is. Guys, fire off some comments. We also go to voicemail hotline right here. We got some voicemails. We'll take some more comments, and then we'll get out of here, make it a shorter show. Trying to get back on a more regular schedule. Stay tuned. I'm thinking the All Dodgers schedule changes to kind of offset the Dodgers territory schedule a little bit more. So I'm not doing 2-a-days anymore. But if you do want to see more of me, I'll be on ESPN LA's YouTube channel with Greg Bergman tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. But with that said, we got to hear from our buddy Noah because we haven't heard from Noah for a while here on the voicemail hotline. So see what Noah has to say.
Well, what up, guys? That's Noah, as you know. And I got to say, guys, I'm really excited for this season. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Hopefully, Kevin Biggio. And on top of that, guys, is we are going to be seeing Roki Sasaki eventually become an ace. I know it's early, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I see Roki Sasaki being an ace for us. He is young, so he's still a project, but given all the projects I've worked on, they've went from being nothing to a lot. And on top of that, guys, I am super excited for Snellzilla. At least I think that's how you say it. I still gotta get used to it. I'm excited for him and opening day. However, though, F those tickets. they're freaking expensive. That's my single complaint. And instead of spending $200 million on that renovation, I would prefer that they lowered the ticket price of either the parking lot or the tickets in general. But anyways, guys, I hope you all have a great time. We're going to have a great time this season. This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. And KT3 better step it up, because I honestly do see Mookie missing some time. At the time of this recording, it is, should I say, March 24th at 4:41 p.m. And at the time of this voicemail, I am really worried about Mookie, because I don't see him coming back to his full strength for a while. He's lost 15 pounds, so I'm very worried about him. But any other than that, though, guys, as you know it, fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot, fuck Fernando Tatis, fuck Manny Machado, fuck Juan Soto, fuck the Giants, fuck the Padres, and for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. Damn, that's so satisfying. See ya!
This guy, look at that. Richie created a monster there.
Yeah, no kidding.
In our friend Noah, as you know. Yeah, I mean, I am excited to get a real season going again, to get the camaraderie and the ups and downs and hanging out with the friends of the show at the ballpark or online in general and all that kind of stuff. And at least we get to know that we are not the Padres organization, because our friend Kenny Chung just shared in the chat, the Padres suck. That's what I got.
Yeah. No disrespect to Noah. Our friend Kenny Chung also mentioned that that Petco Park is going to eliminate aisle walkers. Is that true?
That's weird.
That's bizarre.
That's pathetic.
Now,
in my opinion.
like, granted, you can now anywhere in the park, I believe, you can order food to your seat, order food and drinks to your seat, so you don't need to necessarily get up. But I will say, I definitely will impulse buy something from an aisle walker. That's what just sucks. You're just eliminating jobs like that. Just like,
that's the big thing. I mean, I think that's their whole goal is eliminating jobs. That's dumb. That's really dumb.
Man,
poor organization. Poor
no beer collars, nothing. There's an art to tossing a bag of nuts.
Well, you're not allowed to do that anymore at Dodger Stadium. It's illegal.
No?
Now.
What about the guy? There was a guy that
he hasn't been able to do that. Roger Owens. Yeah, Roger, I think his name is.
Really?
He hasn't been able to do that for like 3 or 4 years because the team banned it because of it could, somebody can get hit in the head with a bag of peanuts and sue or whatever because everybody's soft as hell now. Wow. If you get assaulted by peanuts, you may be entitled to compensation. By the way, I want to shout out, welcome Nicole Taylor, who signed up to be a YouTube member here. The lowest tier of I want the emojis. I made that for some people who really just wanted the emojis. So you get emojis and I think preferential treatment on comments. I think they show up more when you comment for us. But anyways, we thank you for signing up, Nicole. Seeing you more active here on the chat in recent weeks, and we very much appreciate you supporting the show. Financially. Mannyman5 Dodges says, I can't believe how soft the world is now. Listen,
I'm like shocked.
Listen, it's so soft now. You have some people that can't even eat 9 hot dogs in 9 innings.
I know, guy. Imagine. Couldn't beat. Wait.
we got another voicemail. You know who it's from. It's from our buddy Richie. And Richie has some things to get off his chest. I'm assuming. Let's listen to Richie.
Well, hey, Clint. Happy whenever this voicemail is being played to you. Well, opening day is finally here. We're only a few days away. I'm happy. I'm more happier than pigs in mud. I'm more happier than Manny Machado at an asshole convention. Baseball is the great American game. It is woven into our fabric. It's part of our family. It's been passed down by moms, dads, brothers, and sisters into our childhood, and now we're passing it along to the next generation. The game of baseball is a beautiful game, 90 feet around each base. Home plate's only 18 inches. 6 feet 6 inches to home plate from the pitcher's mound. It is a game that has stood the test of time. It was invented during the Civil War, survived World War I, the Depression in the 1920s, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, 9/11, and finally COVID. It is still here, and it's here for us every day if we need it. It's a great comfort. It's a great way to end the day. So, with that being said, happy, and I mean happy opening day to everybody. Let's have a good season. Let's keep it positive, even though it's kind of hard to do that with CT3. And let's just all enjoy ourselves and know that at the end of a hard day, we got some baseball to take away from our daily stress and hustle and bustle. So, fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck Manny Machado. Fuck the Padres. Fuck the Chiefs. And for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya.
Oh, Richie.
Man, he was so positive and had to clown on Chris
Well,
Taylor
you know,
still.
listen. We got to keep things a certain way, you know, a certain thing about ourselves here. But I do love Manny Machado at happier than Manny Machado at an asshole convention is pretty dang good. I appreciate Richie for sharing his wisdom and his ability to come up with really dumb one-liners. It's always fun there. But yeah, I am excited. Carnivorous Lunar Activity saying in the chat, bring on opening day. I'm ready for baseball to be real again, guys. I am tired of fake baseball. I am tired of going to different countries playing baseball and coming back to see the Angels play meaningless baseball against them. It's always meaningless baseball against the Angels, but I digress there.
Sell the team, Marty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Listen, we got we'll take a few more comments, hang out here for a little bit. Appreciate the voicemails. Guys, I'm going to get the voicemails firing back up again for Season 2 of All Dodgers, so please do call in moving forward, even if it's something that's not for specifically that day. I'll try to find a way to mix it in. I'll also say, sorry, things didn't work out the way I had planned or hoped with trying to get Alana to do a voicemail call show, because our schedules just did not align very well out there, and I also was stretched very, very thin, which is tough for a fat guy. Andy and Shannon saying, long-time listener, first-time caller. You could be that, Andy. Call in. We'd appreciate it. But Carnivorous Lunar Activity mentioning, are we talking about Urias or not? We have not talked about Julio. Not a whole lot to talk about. I'm surprised it's only half a season suspension, to be honest. I thought MLB would honestly throw the book at him, because he is the only he's the first and only two-time offender when it comes to MLB's domestic violence and sexual assault policy. So for him to just get that, I mean, obviously they're counting last season, same way they did with Trevor Bauer a couple years ago or whatever. I think very similar to Bauer, Julio's not going to get a job. No team is going to reach out and try to give this dude a job. I think you share a very similar sentiment.
It takes one team, though, and he's 28, 29. He's affected. I don't know. It just takes one team to say, hey, he could help us and be an effective number 4, number 5 pitcher that you pay basically the league minimum. It's just one team. The easiest stance is don't ever do what he did, and then if you get a second chance at life, definitely don't do it a second time. So I don't think he deserves to pick up a baseball ever again.
Noble words.
That's as far as I'll go on it. Yeah, but it just takes one team. It takes one team that just wants to win a couple more games, and how old is Trevor Bauer now? He's got to be up there.
32, 33, and he's back in Japan, I think it is.
Yeah, he's I hate bringing him up. God, he's 34.
34? Yeah. Oh, that's
Julio is
30 now, right? Or is it 29?
Julio's 28.
28. Man.
It's different paying a 34-year-old and a 28-year-old on a league minimum. I don't know. I could see somebody. It just takes one team. I don't know if all 30 organizations share the sentiment.
Yeah, Manny Man 5 Dodge saying cost Julio $200 million. I 100% agree.
At least.
We had over at DN back in the day, we had a roundtable talking about that, and I got some dirty looks about. I think he's going to be somebody who's going to pass the $250 million price tag when he gets into free agency because of where he was at and how good he was at that point, but gave it all
26 years old.
Yeah.
26 years old, left-hander, effective. Easily $200 million. Like that. Like we talk, not that they're the same pitcher, because I think Yamamoto's a better pitcher, but you know, the drawdown, Yamamoto is 25 years old when he was coming over. Well, he was only 26. Like, it just, yeah. It
well,
just
at the expense of continuing to not go down the Debbie Downer spiral here, we'll probably go ahead and that's the wrong button, but let's turn it off here.
You really hate turkey bacon. I love turkey bacon.
We'll go ahead and hit the wrap it up button now. At least we have a team that is hopefully all populated in that locker room by good humans, good dudes, people who take care of their spouses and significant others, and or both. Something like that. But guys, I'll leave you with this. Thank you for watching. Call in if you want to be featured in a future show. Like I was saying, ask your questions, share comments, questions, whatever it is. Be smart, definitely be funny, spark conversation. We appreciate anybody calling into the voicemail hotline. But again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for the comments and questions, the engagement here in the chat. You guys rock it as always, even when I'm a bit on the more inconsistent side with the schedule. Appreciate you guys bearing with me, and we'll be back to normal very, very, pretty much this week and moving forward. I want to thank our channel members, our Patreon supporters who are already subscribed and helping out the channel. You guys are awesome. You really do warm us in our souls and in our cockles and in our subcockle regions. If you are looking for a different way to support the show and a different way to support independent Dodgers coverage here online, check it out, patreon.com/realfrg, or click the join button here on YouTube. Links are in the description here on this video. It's $5 a month to get access to our Discord. It's $1 if you want emojis on YouTube. And, you're supporting the show and meeting new friends and family and all that kind of stuff. That is Skinner7Kevin on the Twitter. Give him a follow. He very much appreciates that. Guys, I hope you consider giving this video a like on the way out. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel. If you weren't subscribed already, we'll be here all season long, baby. Go Dodgers. 162-0 season coming up. All Dodgers is also presented by BetOnline. But that's about it. Okay, bye.